If only,
take the
only,
bulk.
yeah, let me have one.
No.
JC Parets.
Whoa! It's right next to me.
All right, JC Parets joins us. All right, JC, why are these guys wrong?
Well, I think that when we're looking at the S&P 500, we really want to ask ourselves, what's our time frame, right? So we want to look at it from a couple of different perspectives. From a secular perspective, I think that the market's fine. I think, we exceeded the 2000 highs. I think we exceeded the 2007 highs. We could see 2000 in the S&P 500 as long as we remain above those highs. So from a secular perspective, I think we're fine. Consumer discretionaries hitting all-time highs. Financials are hitting new 52-week highs. You have industrials that are taking out the 07 highs. You look at technology. Technology is not to where it was in 2000, but it's well above where we were in 2007. So I think that's healthy from a longer-term picture.
Can we define the highs? Because when we traded down to 1560 had been previous resistance.
Yep.
2000, 2007 was resistance on the way up this time, and then we blew through. Define what is intact until we break X. What's X?
Well, I think that we tested it successfully last month, right? So we sold off. We corrected, 6.5% in the S&P 500, retested those previous highs. I think from a secular perspective, I think that that's healthy. Now, in the shorter term, I gotta jump in with these guys. We rallied back up to the May highs. I think that now is probably a good time to be selling, probably fading these highs. If you're looking at individual stocks, you probably want to stay in the names that have taken out the April and May highs, the biotechs and the financials of the world and, the industrials, for example. And you probably want to stay away from those that failed to exceed those highs.
See, I'm glad to see JC say this because we had this discussion with Ralph Al-Kapoor last week, and he was saying things, it's just going to blow through, go out there, buy everything. But what JC is saying is what a trader does, and somebody at home who's managing their own money is going to do. You cannot go out there and be buying the top of this market.
Okay, let me ask, in the context of what we learned in the after-hour session, a name like a Microsoft, which did go through its previous highs, is that a name that you say stick by? I mean, technically speaking, is that an example of one of these tech names that will continue to work?
I think tech and we saw, they showed it today. You saw what Intel was doing. You saw semis down all day with the market at the highs. So semis tried to exceed the May highs, failed. Nice false breakout there. I think it's definitely bearish. I think more reason to just fade this recent strength. In the short term, of course.
In the short term.
Know your time frame, I think, is really the big...
Okay. Longer term, though, overall, you are bullish the markets.
If you look at the long-term chart of the S&P 500, it's hard not to like that. I got to agree with Ralph on that point.
Guy, this is not an official street fight, but we want to get a verdict.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Listen, I have to say, I've been in the BK camp for a long time. My premise has always been the market can stay crazy longer than you can stay solvent, and that's where we find ourselves now. I think the headwinds are out there. I think the market's masked a lot of the ills that are out in the economy, and it's just a question of time before it catches up. I'm not smart enough to tell you where it is, but this Microsoft, Google, Intel yesterday is a good enough start for me.
All right. JC, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. JC Parets of Eagle Bay Capital.